that hot mic April Nick moment is the last like gossip thing that came out, and it feels like forever ago. And I was looking back, and it was Monday. Like we were talking
I
about it,
know.
and it feels
It's
like,
wild.
yeah, it feels like forever. And then I was talking last night. I was on Twitter, and there was this rumor out there. Like one guy wrote to me, and he's clearly like a Nick defender, and he wrote to me. He's like, "And you're garbage. You kicked her out of your house and threw all her clothes out in the rain."
Oh, he's been peddling that story around to people like I told you, right?
No, but I'm like, wait a minute. No, even like that's not even the story. Like, if you want to go with the rain story, they got arrested the day that she was supposed to pick up her stuff. I brought the TV and the electronics in and all the other stuff. I'm like, I'm not going to sit out here in the rain picking up other people's shit because they got arrested. I'm not doing that. So then the next Thursday, so then I kind of had to go and expand and tell the whole story yesterday because this guy I don't write back to people on Twitter and correct them because I'm like, that's they get to do that. That's their thing. I'm like, I have a show. I'll talk into my microphone and they can talk shit on Twitter. That seems like a fair trade to me.
Right. You mean you don't text and Instagram DM every single person that you don't even know?
I don't.
Individually, paragraph after paragraph after paragraph, calling you a piece of shit?
No, I don't. And somebody
I got that.
Dude, just a fan of mine. So you got the messages from Nick. A fan of mine sent me a thing. They had tweeted something in support of me. He started DMing just a random person on Twitter.
Ugh.
About this.
The mental illness is
so
palpable.
This guy, he's like, you kicked her out of your home and threw her clothes in the rain. I'm like, okay, I'm going to talk about this on Wednesday night. This will be, let's clear this up. Let's be very clear about something. While I was over at the Riqueda's house, she snuck out, drove back to St. Cloud, grabbed all of her clothes out of the closet, left her ring in the closet, and then came back and put all her clothes in Kayla's bedroom.
I was listening to this. You say this last night. What you're saying is, I listened to it through twice. It was late.
Yeah.
I was a little tired, but you were while you were still at the Riqueda's house.
Yeah.
You just went home.
Yeah.
And left you there. Like, you're like, hey guys. She's like, I'll go to the bathroom, I guess. And then 3 hours later, then she came back and she had all of her clothes and her ring.
I
left her ring there.
She left when I left. Like, I went to go back home because I had stuff to do.
Got it. Okay.
And then Nick tells me, I had no idea she was going to do that. Oh, but she left. And then you told her when I left so she could come back, but you had no idea she was doing that. Okay. All right. I believe that.
Right. That's very forward. Yeah. Hey, you know what? I think I'll just move all of my clothes into these people's house.
Yeah.
I think I'll just clear everything out. I didn't know she was going to do it.
Yeah. And then 2 days later, him and Kayla came over to my house to hang out with me. I think it was supposed to be just Kayla hanging out, but I don't think Nick wanted us to be alone.
Bone.
I don't think he wanted the two of us to be talking. So then my neighbor's over there, and Nick's sitting in a chair in my house, and he's got his phone in one hand like this and a glass of booze in the other, and he just falls asleep. And my neighbor looks at me and he goes, "What's up with him?" And I go, "He says he has narcolepsy, but like
narcolepsy.
That's what he says. Yeah,
meat allergy. Okay.
So I'm getting off the beaten path here. So this guy on Twitter says you threw her out of your house and put her clothes out in the rain. I'm like, where the fuck is this coming from? And then I think for a second, I'm like, oh, I know where this is coming from. And whatever. And I retell the story about the clothes, and I didn't think this was an important part of the story, but and I've told it before, but people grabbed onto it yesterday. April packed up all the clothes, brought them over, and that's when Kayla did that. I've talked about this where Kayla goes, "Some woman has just fucking moved into my house, and I am not okay with it." And I'm like, well, why don't you fucking say something?
They didn't even know. She just did it. She went and got her stuff.
I think he knew, but
obviously he knew.
She didn't know.
Yeah.
But so then April sends me this big long message a couple of days later, because obviously I'm pissed. And she goes, "I just want you to know I didn't do this because it's the end." And I'm paraphrasing, by the way. I didn't do this because it's the end. we can rebuild things. We just have to start over because the romantic whatever has been lost and blah, 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 blah. Like this big, long message. And she's like, when we move into the new house, you and I can rebuild and blah, 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 blah. And it was like this not an ultimatum, but it was like this, the only way we're going to make this work is if we move into that new house. I'm like, crazy bitch. You think you're going to take all your clothes out of the house on a whim, and then I'm going to sell my children's house and buy a house next to the drug house after you just moved all your clothes out.
It's funny. They wanted you to buy it.
Yeah.
Their house that they own.
Oh, he was given a very good, say this. He was given a great price. And then
yeah.
I don't know if he was joking or not. This could have been a joke. I want to preface this with this could have been a joke. But he was talking about with the money he would make off of that house, he could do an addition onto the house and start building his sex dungeon that he wanted to build. That had like the cross and everything else in it. Could have completely been a joke.
Yeah.
I don't remember the context.
Nothing wrong with that, I guess.
I don't remember the context in which it was spoken, but it also could have been true because he did talk about wanting to build a sex room at one point in his life.
It's cool for some people. It's creepy for him.
Yeah, it's very creepy for him.
And also, wait. So he didn't, I thought April was living there or not living with him. She didn't make, unless it cost however much she took out of y'all's joint bank account, which is rightfully hers, unless it cost that, rightfully hers. Unless it cost that, then
she agreed not to touch it, but whatever. She didn't sign anything yet that said she wouldn't touch it. She just kind of gave her word. I don't want any money. $5,000 later.
Yeah, she's entitled to it.
Here's what I say. It's what I say about child support and everything else. Cost of doing business. You get your you wash your hands of it. You're done. Cost of doing business.
Wow.
But when it comes to, so she was like, after she moved all that shit out, she's like, oh, when we move into the new house, we'll work on things and this and that. I'm like, that. I'm not selling my house.
The new house? You mean that place next door to those freaks?
Well, not only, but it wasn't only just that. It was like, you just went and did one of the most dishonest things I can think of someone doing, one of the sneakiest, shittiest, low-down, hurtful things that you can do to someone. And now you want me to buy a fucking house with you? Like, her name was going to be on it. Fuck that noise.
You know what else, too?
You talk about the definition of a bad investment. That would have been the definition of a bad investment.
It seems like it was all a ruse to, like, just drive you absolutely insane until you just walked away.
Maybe.
It's so insane that it doesn't even make sense. And I feel like they were like, yes, April, he's a narcissist. You need to go get your clothes. Do it now. Don't say a word. And then before he can convince you, no. Like, that's what it feels like. You know what I mean?
Oh, no, Keanu, he said he had no idea.